morning we had a really bad storm, and um, my daughter Anna was uh, home from school because she was sick, and she went out to check on the ducks. And I had a temporary fence up, and she didn't like latch the fence back, and the dog got out and thought that they were toys, and she went out there and was playing with them. And so they had some puncture wounds, and they had some feathers missing, and they were bloody and all of that. And so I brought them back inside, and I gave them baths in the bathtub, and I doctored them, and I got face masks, like the disposable face masks, and sprayed blue coat on them. So my white ducks, or well, at the time they were like still a little bit yellow, they were purple because I sprayed blue coat on them. And so I had purple ducks that had face masks around them to the keep them from plucking at their feathers. So that happened, and then I got two khaki camels because I have to have my khakis. And then she jumped in the fence and got them, and so they came back inside for a little while. And then she also tried to play with my chickens, and they were okay. But yeah, so now we're learning. We've been really learning that they're babies and you can't. But she's doing pretty good. She's understanding. And I kicked my RSO ducks out of the run. I don't know where they're on the other side of the fence, but I kicked them out because they're SOs. So um we've had prolapse penis problems, and so that's been a thing, and it's just crazy. It's chaos, right? So, hello everybody. I know, Andy. He's got them for like $15 each. So I was like, I'll get two and start having eggs, I guess, and maybe that'll entice my other girls to start laying because they're supposed to start laying. But I had to get rid of my two mean roosters. So it's been chaos. It's been pretty. Yeah, they're rapers. They are. So they're very rough too. It's like they're just like hold them down in the water and go to town. And and they're not old enough to start laying yet, so I don't want them to get hurt. And uh so they're kicked out. But Belle's doing really good with the babies, with the ducks out of the fence. But yes. You can hang out with me. Want to be live? Yeah, there's a baby. Yes, there's a baby. Yes. So there has been a lot going on in these YouTube streets, and we've been live a couple times and talked about some stuff. But it's really annoying that it continues and it continues and it gets worse. And if you guys saw my post yesterday, apparently Jody Sue thought it would be cute to call me a liar about what happened to me when I was 14 years old, just turned 14. And, so she said that I was a liar and that I did it for attention, just like I'm doing it for all this for attention now, right? Because I'm doing all the things. I've apparently, with Jenny and with other creators, we've conspired for her to be murdered. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that I'm doing that stuff? And all of the important things that I have to do every day. That's what I'm doing, right? So she said a couple days ago, I don't remember, Jenny might remember what it was, because I try to avoid her as much as possible, her lives. Every once in a while, I have to be in the right mood to deal with listening to her. But hi, Annabella. But um, the other day, she made a comment about how me and Jenny tried to, what was it? Oh, plot with Ziggy and Dolly to get her murdered. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that we do that stuff over here? Did you know? So basically, what happens is if she's not getting enough attention, and if someone, we've noticed a trend here that anytime that she sees it, that someone else comes out, like Jose or Allie or who else? Andrew or Andy or Laura, Fred, any of them. There's a pattern here, right? She comes up with some ridiculous, story. Whether that story is truthful or not, we'll never know. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right? You can't ever know if someone who lies so easily is telling the truth. And last year, if you guys remember, I don't know how anybody could forget, she told everyone when Andy came out to go over there and ask him why he was selling drugs to the children and Candace at 110 to be sedated and touched. Do you guys remember that? Because she was mad that Andy came out and was speaking. Right. And of course, anytime that anybody spoke out about that, like when Tracy, when we did like nonstop for hours and hours and hours because she was lying through her teeth and not, and we don't know, right? We're never going to know exactly what is the lie, right? You have to use discernment when listening to her and figure out which is the lie and which is the truth, because there is a little bit of truth mixed in with what she says. Like it could be something like as simple as oh my god, there's so many. Like we got the golden ticket to 110, right? She says that we got the golden ticket to 110. Well, here's the thing about that. When we went down there, we talked to Don and Candace and asked them if we could search, and they said yes. There was no golden ticket. We asked them and they said yes, and we did. She said that we were trespassing on properties and stuff. That's not true. We did go on people's properties. And the kicker here is we had permission. A lot of the homeowners, most of the homeowners that are down there in the Ben Hill Beach Creek area, they want Summer to be found, and they are happy to let an actual search team, not a fake one, an actual one that are actually searching. They're happy to let them search. And no one was kicked off the hill. That's right, Annabella. No one. Not Annabella, not anybody, right? No one. She says that the neighbors down there are sick and tired of our crap, right? Us on YouTube. They are. They're entirely sick of being doxxed and people taking pictures of their houses and all of this stuff. We didn't go down there and do any of that. The people, no, sir. No, sir. You can't do that. Tigger. We didn't go down there and do any of that. And none of our body cam footage that I wore a body cam. One other person wore a body cam. None of that made it to YouTube because it wasn't for content, right? But yes, people are entitled. No, you get down, sir. People are entirely sick of it, but the people down there want Summer found and are wonderful people. There's a lot of wonderful people on Ben Hill Road, a lot. And I'm not just saying that they're nice. Like they're good, honest, hardworking people. And what's so funny is that a couple of the people that we talked to on Ben Hill, right? Um, there was one person that wasn't having any of it, and that is the person that was harassed by heels on the ground whenever they went there. Rightfully so. And we just said, okay. And we moved along and that everything was fine, right? The other people that we talked to, some of them aren't really from Ben Hill. They're not from Beach Creek. Um, they're very, very nice, hardworking, honest people. There is some bad people down there, right? It's not like it used to be back in the day. Um, okay, sorry. I got a phone call. Um, Uh, so it's not like it used to be back in the day. It's not the Wild West anymore. um, but it is. I mean, you don't want to be there after dark. We know that. We learned that lesson. And it was unintentional. We were trying to get out of there. Um, so hi everybody coming in. Sorry, I get spacey, so I need to make sure that um yes, they said that community wants healing and for Summer to be found. Tracy, yes, I will. Okay, so um, there are a ton of cameras down there. The thing about it is, with the cameras on Ben Hill, some of those cameras were not there that we know of on June 15th of 2021. Some of the properties had trail cameras and they were there, they were on, and the police did, the homeowners, the property owners, gladly handed those over to law enforcement, their whole like all of their like everything, they handed everything over that day. um there, and those are the properties towards the back, so they didn't believe the property owners, they didn't, and a lot of them were outside that day working outside in their yards, on their properties, clearing brush, all kinds of stuff. So, um, they were outside and they heard commotion going on. They heard Candace yelling for Summer at one point. The times are a little bit fuzzy because, of course, when you're outside working. I mean, I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this. So you lose track of time. You don't really realize what time it is. You work, if you're doing a specific job, you're working until dark, right? So, I mean, you're just, you're not paying attention to the clock. And especially if you're retired or whatever, you're not focused on that. You're doing your thing, right? So, though there was people outside towards the back of Ben Hill and they heard Candace yelling for Summer. They did not hear a scream. They could hear Candace yelling for Summer, but they did not hear a scream at around 4:30 to 4:42. Okay. The cameras that Ed had at the end, um, he has cameras all over the place. The property behind him and on both sides actually of him have cameras all over their properties. You know of on June 15th of 2021. Some of the properties had trail cameras and they were there. They were on, and the police did, the homeowners, the property owners, gladly handed those over to law enforcement, their whole like all of their SD, like everything. They handed everything over that day. We talked to Don and Candace and asked them if we could search.
Fuck. I went forward instead of backwards, and I lost my part. Let me go back a minute. I wanted to hear the time. Screw it. We'll just talk about this now.
So she said a couple days ago, I don't remember, Jenny might remember what it was. Because I try to avoid her as much as possible, her lives. Every once in a while, I have to be in the right mood to deal with listening to her. But hi, Annabella.
Yeah, I think I skipped this
But
one.
right,
Turn that off.
and
The sound.
of course, any time that anybody spoke out about that, like when being doxxed and people taking pictures around. Tracy, yes, I will. Okay, so there are a ton of cameras down there. The thing about it is, with the cameras on Ben Hill, some of those cameras were not there that we know of. On
Did we listen to this already? I'm looking to hear about the scream. Did we already hear the cameras? Because I wasn't really paying attention to the beginning. What I want to hear is what she said about when the timing of hearing Candace scream. Because I believe she mentions it again and it changes. I want to hear the time she said. I believe she said between 1:30 and 4:42 or 4:50, whatever Jody said. She changed her time. It started at 4:42 or 52 and then changed and switched to one of them at one point in her storyline. So I want to hear what they say because we hear the TBI say early afternoon hours that Summer goes missing. So that would imply, in my opinion, that the TBI has evidence that Summer went missing prior to the scream and anybody searching for Summer and Candace screaming. If they can confirm that Candace was screaming for Summer and searching for her, well, what happened between the early afternoon hours when they got back, because I believe they got back prior to the 3:08 hour. That's just my intuition, opinion, based off of what TBI says. Hi, Jen Green. Hey, little Dev. So I'm going to go, just let me, because I got people in here now. We'll just go back and start to the whole beginning. But I'm not going to comment on the Jody Sue shit because I feel like they did as much to Jody as Jody did to all of us. And this isn't about that for me right now. Okay, let me mute.
they're not old enough to start laying yet, so I don't want them else comes out like Jose or call me a liar about what happened to me when I was 14 years old, just turned 14. And so she said that I was a liar and that I did it for attention, just like I'm doing it for all this for attention now, right? Because I'm doing all the things. I've apparently, with Jenny and with other creators, we've conspired for her to be murdered. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that I'm doing that stuff? And all of the things the important things that I have to do every day. That's what I'm doing, right? So she said a couple days ago, I don't remember, Jenny might remember what it was. Because I try to avoid her as much as possible, her lives. Every once in a while, I have to be in the right mood to deal with listening to her. But hi, Annabella. But the other day, she made a comment about how me and Jenny tried to, what was it? Oh, plot with Ziggy and Dolly to get her murdered. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that we do that stuff over here? Did you know? So basically, what happens is if she's not getting enough attention, and if someone, we've noticed a trend here that anytime that she sees it, that someone else comes out, like Jose or Allie or who else? Andrew or Andy or Laura, Fred, any of them. There's a pattern here, right? She comes up with some ridiculous, story. Whether that story is truthful or not, we'll never know. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right? You can't ever know if someone who lies so easily is telling the truth. And last year, if you guys remember, I don't know how anybody could forget, she told everyone when Andy came out to go over there and ask him why he was selling drugs to the children and Candace at 110 to be sedated and touched. Do you guys remember that? Because she was mad that Andy came out and was speaking. Right. And of course, anytime that anybody spoke out about that, like when Tracy, we did like nonstop for hours and hours and hours because she was lying through her teeth. And we don't know, right? We're never going to know exactly what is the lie, right? You have to use discernment when listening to her and figure out which is lie and which is the truth, because there is a little bit of truth mixed in with what she says. Like it could be something like as simple as oh my god, there's so many. Like we got the golden ticket to 110, right? She says that we got the golden ticket to 110. Well, here's the thing about that. When we went down there, we talked to Don and Candace and asked them if we could search, and they said yes. There was no golden ticket. We asked them and they said yes, and we did. She said
She will come on to say that not only did they search 110, but they searched other properties and they had permission from everybody. Hey, Tic Tac. Hey, Mr. Nobody. Hey, Crystal. Am I missing anybody? No. Okay, so she's going to come on to say that she had permission from everybody. Then she's going to tell us about the cameras. I do have a couple comments on the cameras. As far as permission from everybody and her body cams, and look, I think she showed us an image at one point of the body cams, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong, right? But my question for her would be, were they police registered? Did you sign something with the police to be a legal searcher? Because she claimed that she was a legal searcher in here, that they only wanted real searchers to come out. You guys will hear it. So I'm just going to hurry up and go through this part real quick. But when she gets to the part about Redmond's cameras, well, she just unprivated these, I believe today. They popped up on my wall, so I don't fucking know. Algorithms, you know how they work, Lady R. Body cams equals cameras to me, yes. So I would ask what make and model the cam was. And did you get them from the police? Like, where did you purchase these cameras? You don't have to tell me exactly, but like, was it a retail store? Was it something like RCA or not RCA, Radio Shack, which they don't make no more. They're not even there no more. I don't know. Did you guys all have Radio Shacks or things of that nature? Was it something you bought on Amazon or Temu? Did you get it from Walmart? Like, I would like to know, like, what kind of body cams were these? Were they something that had an SD card that you could take out, or was it something that the police gave you to attach to your body and you never looked at the imagery on it and you was able to give it back to the police? That would be my question for you. Okay. Editing's not a hard thing to do, guys. You know what I'm saying? And these girls obviously have the talent to edit videos. So I would hope that it was a legal body camera. Yeah, right. Was it a GoPro? Like, what did you have? Okay. I want to know what made your search legal. Um, who did you confirm the search with? How long prior to the search did you confirm the search? Did you talk to the neighbors prior to just showing up to their house? Or did you just say, knock, knock, we're here? Now I'll let you guys listen, and I have nothing more to say about that part. But when we get the red men and the cameras, I'm going to pause.
That we were trespassing on properties and stuff. That's not true. We did go on people's properties. And the kicker here is we had permission. A lot of the homeowners, most of the homeowners that are there down there in the Ben Hill Beach Creek area, they want Summer to be found, and they are happy to let an actual search team, not a fake one, an actual one that are actually searching. They're happy to let them search. And no one was kicked off the hill. That's right, Annabella. No one. Not Annabella, not anybody, right? No one. Um, she says that the neighbors down there are sick and tired of our crap, right? Us on YouTube. They are. They're entirely sick of being doxxed and people taking pictures of their houses and all of this stuff. We didn't go down there and do any of that. The people, no, sir. No, sir. You can't do that. Tigger. We didn't go down there and do any of that. And none of our body cam footage that I wore a body cam. One other person wore a body cam. None of that made it to YouTube because it wasn't for content, right? But yes, people are entitled. No, you get down, sir. People are entirely sick of it, but the people down there want Summer found and are wonderful people. There's a lot of wonderful people on Ben Hill Road, a lot. And I'm not just saying that they're nice. Like, they're good, honest, hardworking people. And what's so funny is that
I'm not going to say that they're nice, but they're good, hardworking, honest people. But they're not nice. I'm not going to say that they're nice. Do you see the manipulation and the twist of words? I'm not going to say they're nice, but they're good, hard working people. Okay.
a couple of the people that we talked to on Ben Hill, right? There was one person that wasn't having any of it, and that is the person that was harassed by heels on the ground whenever they went there, rightfully so. And we just said okay, and we moved along, and that everything was fine, right?
So that altercation was recorded. I'm going to have to go see if I could find it or find clips of it. If anybody has it, let me know. I remember that it was the guy or the lady screaming, my elderly mother lives here. Please get off of our property, blah, 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 blah.
The other people that we talked to, some of them aren't really from Ben Hill. They're not from Beach Creek. They're very, very nice, hardworking, honest people. There is some bad people down there, right? It's not like it used to be back in the day. Um,
Guys, bear with me for 1 minute. I'm gonna go. I don't, was that Sharif's house? I don't think that it was. It might have been, but I don't think it was, Crystal. Give me 1 minute. My daughter's down here climbing up my butt. She won't stop, and I don't want to miss this because now I'm commenting on it and I got to give her my time for like 3 minutes. So if you guys could just chat for 3 minutes in my chat, I would appreciate it, and I apologize. Jesus, we had a phone charger issue. Sorry, guys. She's 19 and she thinks she runs the world, and that's where we're at. She does run the world. She has a mouth too. Teenagers. All right, what's going on in the chat here? Laura from Perplex. Yes, Laura went there. Was she there? Wasn't it? It wasn't the same time they were there. It was when Ziggy was there and Molly was there. And Laura, if I remember correctly, Laura and Molly weren't getting along. There was some shit going on around the candle thing around that time. She got a hold. I think I have those interviews. I do have those interviews, Lady R. If you want to go over them one night, we will. I have Laura's interview with Allie, and I have Molly's. Everybody has Molly's. Okay. Chris McDonough went there. Same time. Notice every time somebody goes, there's a crew of them that go from different sides, right? Yeah, it was Don Sherfy Sr., his girlfriend. Yeah, I remembered there was a woman that came out, and didn't a man come out after or something? I almost 16-year-old. Oh, I have a almost 16-year-old. Man, this one's 19 and she's spoiled. She's my youngest. She's the only girl. It's my dad and my dad, her dad, and mine's only child living together because we did have another child that passed away right after birth. She got him. She has no kids. She don't like kids. Like, she loves the nieces and nephews. She has a relationship with them, but it's like a love hate. She fights with them like she's fucking 5. It pisses me off, really. I can't wait. She just graduated high school. She's very smart. She's very educated. She got a job, but they only hired her seasonal at Bath and Body Works. And they call her like once every 2 weeks to come into work, and it's pissing her off. And she's put applications in. We're just like PMSing every fucking day right now. I love my kid, but that's the truth. We're PMSing, you know? We're 19. The whole world's crumbling on her, and she is part of this generation that thinks everybody owes her everything. And she hits her dad and I up every day. She takes us broke. She needs to get a job, a big job, one that doesn't call her every 2 weeks. I'm going to start charging her rent. I keep telling her. Okay. I believe Laura got jealous of Blowhorn Betty. I call her Blowhorn. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. But they all got into that fight over that candle, too. Tiffany did. So odd her and Molly are talking again, isn't it? Cam and Allie was there. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, but wasn't that during the vigil? That wasn't during when Cromwell went down, was it? When they went down in that November when Benny was supposed to meet them and Benny sent Andy money and all that stuff. I don't think that they were all there for that, were they? See, I don't know much about him. I just always looked at him. Okay, so when I used to watch the videos of them driving around when my channel first started, it was to use it so that I figured like the locals. I thought Scotty Skulls was a local. He's not. I always thought that it was cool that the locals would drive around like Twister, right? And we would be able to use their footage rather than going down there and doing it ourselves and muddying the waters because we're not from Tennessee. Like, even somebody like, let's say Holler Girl went over there and did it. She's not a local, however, she's from the state of Tennessee. She has the Tennessee drawl in her voice. She has, you have that. Like, there's a thing, like, I don't want people from Tennessee coming to my neighborhood and searching through my shit when there's a missing child. Like, it got to be somebody who knows somebody that goes down there, or like, there's a proper way to do things and talk to people, in my opinion. And I don't feel going down there like they're going to tell this story of being chased. Do I believe something could have happened? Yes. I believe there was something that could have happened. However, I believe that they fabricated the fuck out of it. And I'm going to point some things out that just cannot be true, such as a part where she talks about he gets out of the car, starts walking towards them, towards the door after driving it. There's no time. There's no, it's fabricated. 80 miles. I was looking up Van Hill and Ben Hill Road. There's no way you could do 80 miles on those roads without wrecking. You know what I'm saying? Did somebody maybe harass them? Yeah. But if somebody was chasing them, was it the fucking police chasing them? Because she states that they had a light on their car. What kind of light? I didn't listen to the whole thing, guys. Keep that in mind. This is just going off of what I have heard so far. Yeah, they said Scotty Skulls was chased. Was it a red truck? I didn't think it was red, was it? Something else that's weird is Candace had the story on Benny's. Like, if we're going to talk truck stories, we could speculate about all that. But Candace had the story on Benny's where, was it Benny's? I think it was. I think I shared it with you guys. It's in one of my lives. Where the guy had the horse and was going really slow. I remember Scotty Skull saying he paid 500 for his car and drove 500 miles. Is his channel still there? I should go check. Yep, it was a red truck, 100% positive. Was it on video? Did he have it on video? Always seems to be these weird stories. I just don't believe that this is as extravagant as Gavel and this witch is saying. You know what I mean? Like, I believe maybe somebody came down there. I just don't think some of the things she said are even possible. And I also don't like how she said, well, when we came back, we went like they went searching for this dude to take pictures of him. So they could have got some crazy. Let's just listen to the whole story. I'm not going to, I want to see your guys' opinions first. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let this play. Okay? Jody has a picture of the truck, right? So she should share that with Scotty Skulls and see if it's the same truck. Wouldn't that make sense? All right. Let's let. I can't stand her voice or her face. Just because she's such a bitch. Swear, in my opinion. My opinion, you guys don't have to agree with me. She's just a fucking troublemaking, loudmouth little man. I would not have gotten along with her in high school, I'll tell you that. And she acts like she's still there. But, anyways, carry on.
Okay, sorry. I got a phone call. So it's not like it used to be back in the day. It's not the Wild West anymore. But it is, I mean, you don't want to be there after dark. We know that. We learned that lesson. And it was unintentional. We were trying to get out of there. So hi everybody coming in. Sorry, I get spacey, so I need to make sure that yes, they said that community wants healing and for summer to be found. Tracy, yes, I will. Okay, so there are a ton of cameras down there. The thing about it is, with the cameras on Ben Hill, some of those cameras were not there that we know of on June 15th of 2021. Some of the properties had trail cameras, and they were there. They were on, and the police did the homeowners, the property owners, gladly handed those over to law enforcement, their whole like all of their SD, like everything. They handed everything over that day. Um there and those are the properties towards the back. So they didn't believe the property owners. They didn't, and a lot of them were outside that day working outside in their yards, on their properties, clearing brush, all kinds of stuff. So um they were outside and they heard commotion going on. They heard Candace yelling for Summer at one point. Um, the times are a little bit fuzzy because, of course, when you're outside working, I mean, I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this. So you lose track of time. You don't really realize what time it is. If you're doing a specific job, you're working until dark, right? So, I mean, you're just, you're not paying attention to the clock. And especially if you're retired or whatever, you're not focused on that. You're doing your thing, right? So there was people outside towards the back of Ben Hill, and they heard Candace yelling for Summer. They did not hear a scream. They could hear Candace yelling for Summer, but they did not hear a scream at around 4:30 to 4:42.
Okay, so maybe I don't know if she talks about this again. Like I said, I just listened quickly on two speed for a little bit. Um, they did not hear a scream, so that's probably what unfounded Sheriff Lawson's scream. Indicate, the indicators of it. There were other people out working. She goes on to tell us that nobody else heard the scream. So there you go. There's your confirmation. If they spoke to people, that would be something if she recorded that she could put out and say, I'm not going to give you the name, but this is so and so. They're confirming that no, there was no screaming. They were out here. They're within 0.2 miles, or you know what I mean? The way people do shit. You can't be a YouTuber and just go stomping on people's ground and calling yourself a true searcher. Unless you have credentials. And if you have the credentials, then maybe you should show them. Because the way you stated that, you made it seem like you're working for the police and the police gave you the body camera. Hold on.
Okay. The cameras that Ed had at the end, um, he has cameras all over the.
My husband was talking and I hurried up and muted because I didn't want you to hear what he was saying, but I'm going to let him in. You can't say the D word causes D. You have to say it causes the unaliving. Go ahead. Say it. I know. Go ahead. What did you just say?
It said going up on people's property like that equals unaliving.
He says going up on people's property like that equals unaliving. I'll address that unless you know exactly where Summer was standing. You couldn't do this factually. I reckon police are smart enough to have thought. You're right. And like, did they know where the scents were that the scent dogs hit? Did they know where the cadaver dogs hit? Because we know they had cadaver dogs. They did. We've been told that by searchers, including, I believe, EquiSearch said they had cadaver dogs. Fred Hill said that cadaver dogs hit on his truck. See, that's my issue. That's why I can't go say Andy and Jody are guilty. Do they have knowledge? Is it like kicking shells into a stream? You know what they did all those years ago? That they're now, Jody's over there, oh, I don't know about fanning this, I don't know about fanning that, while she's, I'm just going to say it. There's no need. The whole world knows. You could see it. They supported going and fighting Black Lives Matters going down to Kingsport. There's news articles about it. It tells you his son ran it and that the rebel flags, they were down there fighting. I mean, what the fuck does that tell you? Come on now. Here's Jody. We're running through the woods. Don't wear no perfume. I asked her on my community post the other day, what were the origins of that? Like, who were you meeting? Who was that video intended for? Who did you want to see that video? Because for me, that sounds like maybe Fred and Jody was working together to do something to conspire against Fanning. And even though that dude don't like black people, I'm just going to come out and say it. It smells like a setup, in my opinion. I'm speculating. See, I think the people down in Beach Creek, well, not all of Beach Creek, okay? The meth monkeys down in the Ben Hill area, okay? I think they have this thing where they fight people. And I think there's some that live on the Beach Creek area too that have the same thing. Now, you got the Frank Light and all this. And is there some people up on Light Holler that could be involved? Sure. Maybe. There's shady people there. Let me tell you something. My neighbor's a convicted felon for murder. I live in a city. It's nothing you're not going to see anywhere you go, right? My brother's a convicted felon for murder. He's out. He's living his life. He's a good dude today. But there are some that are not good people when they get out of jail. But it doesn't mean that they'd hurt a kid. You're not going to see a criminal just go hurt a kid because they feel like hurting a kid. They would approach an adult first. Even like I was doing some research into the cartel. Yes, they hurt kids, but that's not who they aim for. I was looking in for when you go into like the pagans or Hell's Angels, whoever it was that was caught down in Knoxville, right? They don't hurt children. So for me, this seems like I'm speculating, and I hate to say this and it makes me sick in my stomach. It gives me a knot. But I feel like there's a possibility somebody, maybe not Fred, was driving Fred's truck or another truck, or somebody tried to set Fred up and put Summer on the truck. They tried to place Chad there with Candace searching for Summer at the time of the scream that Jody Sue hears. What the fuck is going on here, man? Bad people come in all places and races. That's right, Lady R. Hey, Mama. If I missed anybody, sorry, I was chit-chatting and not. Also, a blue truck now on Simpson at that time, allegedly, but not stated by the police. That's the thing. Fred's out here, like, he could be purposely trying to throw shit off, and the police can't come out and confirm nothing because it's an investigation, right? So Fred could possibly be on Ziggy's channel going, hey, blue truck. It's like, which way did the scroll go? You know what I mean? It doesn't make no sense. Like, if we're just basing things off of fact, the only thing we know is red truck. And you hear Fred state, oh, they kept questioning him about a blue truck, but was it actually the red truck they were questioning him? Okay, and if they're questioning him about a blue truck, is it because of something he said on YouTube? By him and Laura stating a blue truck? Well, I'll tell you what, if the TBI happens to watch my live, they should know that on Prayer Garden, Laura stated that it was that Chad drives a blue truck. I shared the clip. It's somewhere in my lives. I'm almost positive it was on Prayer Garden. But if you ever need it and it's the TBI wanting it, please reach out to me because I will give it to you. And I will make sure that I put some hashtags in my description of this so that this goes through to the programs that they use. Not this live, but I mean, I'll hashtag that truck. If that's what they're looking for, I'll hashtag Laura stating that it was a blue truck that Chad Arnold drives. Okay. Yeah, he's been mentioning it. Guys, I have so many videos started and not posted. I still haven't made phone calls. I feel like an ignorant bitch because I haven't gotten back to Lisa yet. I haven't even been on my Facebook and Messenger. I've really been honestly dealing with some shit with my kid and his kids. And we've actually had them the last 3 days for 3 hours a day. Mom had to go do something, and she needed a babysitter. So we had the kids, and I've been really busy. Life's just, it's Christmas time, you know? It's family time. Honestly, it's been stressful sitting back and watching a lot of the crazy shit that's going on. I'm lost why Tiffany Marie would just jump from, okay, well, if it's Andy, let's attack Fred without a thought in her brain. I mean, let's pick up and be friends with Fred. Because truth is, like, if you look at this, Fred was questioned in Quentin's death. He states that he questioned, I mean, like, we've seen the proof he was questioned by his sane sister who never did bath salts, okay? Which was the first story. This woman's too educated to do damn bath salts, okay? She's too clean. She's pretty. I just don't get it. How anybody would believe that story to, I mean, he made it sound like it was a cartoon. Guys, that woman never used bath salts. That's what I'm telling you. Okay. So, anyways, let's finish watching this because I'm way off topic, but you guys get what I'm saying. And she's going to go on to talk about Candace yelling, or she did talk about that. I think she might bring it up again. I could be wrong, but I want to hear this over again. So, let's get to it. Thank you for listening to me mumble on.
The place. The property behind him and on both sides, actually, of him have cameras all over their properties. I'm not sure when he put that camera right there. I don't know if one of the other girls can. I don't remember it being there when we were there in November, but I could be wrong. The one on the road that's pointing towards Ben Hill, like watching the road. Annabella, do you remember? Yes, Bush. Yep. So yeah, yep, they sure did, Annabella. So, yep, full consent. Okay, hold on. Oh, the body cams. Oh, okay. Body cams. I had a body cam. One other person had a body cam. And the only reason that we were wearing body cams was to protect if we ever found anything, like any evidence, anything, if we found Summer, if we found like anything at all. It was to protect the evidence and it was to protect us. It was to also keep track of where we were at and what we were doing. It was to keep track of anything, if anything went sideways and we were, we found ourselves in a predicament. It was for all of those reasons. I wore a body cam. The other person wore a body cam to protect so there was 2 people. That was it that had body cams. That footage from those body cams was not for anything other than protecting everyone and the investigation, the integrity of the not ours. And I'm not saying we're like detectives out there wearing body cams trying to protect our investigation. It was to protect if anything ever happened, if we found anything at all, it was to protect that, so that law enforcement could have that footage and, whatever the case would be, right? It was to protect everything about it. And we were legally advised to do that, legally. So, like, not fake, not fake legally, not fake law enforcement, not fake anything. That's what we were advised to do. No other cams were used. Yeah, Annabella didn't even have her phone. I had my phone, but I don't remember if Tracy, did you have your phone? I can't remember, but everybody that was there knew that there was no, like recording, nothing was going to be put on YouTube. We were not there for content. We were there for summer only. And everybody that was a part of it that day knew that and was under the same understanding. So yes, so the neighbor's cams have unfounded her scream. So we don't know exactly what unfounded her scream through law enforcement. We know that there was other tests done after, and Jody was not given the findings or the thoughts on what they decided. Tracy had coffee and never dropped this. I'm telling you, I got proof. I did screenshots so that if anybody ever questions Tracy's ability to carry a cup of coffee while traipsing through the woods, I have proof that she can do it with a machete as well. Coffee in one hand, or one arm like this, and a machete in the other. So I did screenshot that to prove if anybody ever tried to doubt Tracy's abilities. Innocent, they heard Candace calling, so they don't know what time it was, and it was after that, I think, that they believe that it was when they heard Candace yelling. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have, because we were leaving. We weren't.
There it is. Hold on, did I unmute that right? Yeah. Okay. Here it is, 26:58. Let me go back just a few seconds. This is what I was talking about. Fuck, I went back more than a few seconds. Right here.
That, I think, that they believe that it was when they heard Candace yelling. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have, because we were leaving. We were going down the driveway and leaving. So we didn't have body cams or anything on that point. And it was way too dark. Yeah.
Okay. So she was answering. Hold on. She was answering Innocent. Damn it, I got a throat itch. They heard Candace calling Summer 4 to possibly 4:42. That's what I understand. Yes, that's what she was responding to. So she's saying there was no scream, or did she say after that? Let's listen one more time. Make sure we got it correct so that we know what she's responding to.
So we didn't have body cams or anything on that point. And it was way too dark. Yeah. So she is a badass.
Hold on. 26. I suck at this.
They did screenshot that to prove if anybody ever tried to doubt Tracy's abilities. Innocent, they heard Candace calling, so they don't know what time it was, and it was after that, I think, that they believe that it was when.
Okay, so a child goes missing. in your neighborhood, you're out questioning other neighbors. How many other neighbors did you question? You don't have to tell us who they are, but where were they in the vicinity? Was it towards the back of Ben Hill? Was it towards the side of Ben Hill? Was it out towards Beach Creek? Was it up on Dobbs' property? Was it at Blue Roof Dawns? Because here's the situation with this. We know other neighbors. Jody told us at the very beginning that other neighbors heard Candace yelling. So that would imply that you spoke to Dawn Chambers and nobody knew. Yet you came out here and you're making it like we spoke to other neighbors, blah, 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 blase, blase, right? And you're saying it was after that, which would coincide with Jody coming down the hill at 6:08. That's what I'm saying. You can't go there and then come back, go to YouTube as a creator, not a legal searcher with certification that LE gave you a body cam for, because I do not believe that that's what happened. Okay? Man. Okay. You know what?
And they heard Candace yelling. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have, yeah, because we were leaving. We were going down the driveway and leaving. So we didn't have body cams or anything on that point. And it was way too dark. Yeah. So she is a badass. So yeah, okay. So her stayed in the purse. I had mine because like I wanted to make sure that I had, in case like body cam failed, I had the ability to track everything, right? To make sure that we were covered. But and everybody was okay with that, like, because everybody knew that I wasn't putting shit on YouTube, right? Oh yeah, we've got pics of who it is. We know who he is.
But didn't she just say she didn't do the sound test? She said others in the past have done the sound test. She never said she did a sound test. That's what I'm saying. Did they actually do one? Because what I'm hearing is she's saying no, they didn't do one, that others have told them. Now, if we're going by that, we already knew that because Jody Sue got so excited when they told her she passed, that they heard it and everybody proved her. I got the videos. It's a black and white video. She's sitting in her car. She was so excited. She just left Ben Hill. It was like one of her last days there. She was jumping and clapping like a baby seal in the car and telling us all about how they proved her screen test to be true, that they could hear Summer. And then she comes to YouTube and says, but nobody knows, nobody but LE knows where the screen came from. So she's doing the same sort of thing, like that's like a mind manipulation that's not coming out here and being transparent with people. If you heard a scream and you're going to come out here and you're going to tell us that, what is the issue with saying what direction you heard the scream in after 3 years? It's been 3 years. Stop the shit. You know what I mean? Like, we already knew others did the scream test. So what this does for me so far, not going forward yet and listening to the end, I'm reacting to what I'm hearing as I'm hearing it, okay? So what this proves to me so far is that the PIs told her that they did a test and failed, or somebody else did a test and failed, and maybe the PIs lied to Jody and told Jody that she passed it and she went clapping in her car like a baby seal. Right, Ellie doesn't know exactly where the scream was either. Right, did Jody tell them where it is? I don't know. Okay.
We know the guy. We got him. And let me just, so Tracy's talked about it on her lives. and we've shared a little bit about it, but when all that stuff happened in November, and it was the night before the search, and we almost didn't go the next morning um, because everybody was really scared. But we didn't want to let him win. We didn't know if he had anything to do with Summer's disappearance, and we still don't. I mean, obviously, because if we did, then he would, if he, he would already be walked away, right? So we don't know, but he was scary, and it was intentional, and he wasn't from Ben Hill, so the reason for him being there, I mean, he shouldn't have been there, so it was targeted, and when we were coming down the driveway, like, uh, I get emotional every time I think about this. We were coming down the driveway, and I said I had to drive because um, Tracy was like, I can't drive at night. So I was like, okay. So I was driving her truck down the driveway, and I said to her, you know, we were talking about the light flashing and how weird it was and everything. And she said to me, sometimes when God is working, here comes the devil. And that man passed the bottom of the driveway, like on Ben Hill, going out Ben Hill. And yes, it's been reported, and I've spoken to a actual TBI agent about it and Hawkins County. So nobody needs a call or anything. And we get to the bottom of the driveway, and she said, have you stood in the spot? And I was like, no. And she was like, get out. And so we got out, and then here he comes back with all of his spotlights on. And we looked into the face of the devil. Like, this man is evil, pure evil. I've never seen someone look that way. And I mean, me and Tracy were right there up in the front, right by the road, and he went up to the little curve, and he stopped, and someone yelled run, and we jumped in the truck, and I pulled the truck out because I didn't want to get blocked in, right? Because if he would have pulled in front of the truck, we would have been stuck. We wouldn't have been able to go anywhere except for back up the driveway. And, it's like we didn't want to be sitting ducks, basically. And come here. Are you cold? All right, hold on. I'm going to keep talking, but I'm going to turn my camera off for a second. So we he pulls like he's going to go back towards Beach Creek, and we pull out, and I was like, he's gonna leave. First I had my little protection with me, and I turned the lamp on, baby. And he gets out of the car, and he was blocking us from going back towards Kingsport. And so he like throws his arms up. Hold on, I'll show you what he did. He throws his arms up like this, and starts walking towards the truck. And this is where people keep twisting things that I said. I said it was like he was gonna come for my door, because that's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. It was like when he was walking towards the truck, I was like, oh my God, because he was coming like this way on this side of me, and I was driving, right? And I said it was like he was coming for my door, and I just gunned it, and we took off, and we drove the opposite direction in towards like we had to go Van Hill Road, because that's how you get back towards the interstate, right?
All right. I listened to that a little bit closer where I was typing. I can't shut my mouth. You know, I gotta get out here and listen to this and talk about it. So, like Crystal said, was you in the driveway or was you on Ben Hill Road? Because you just said there was no direction to go except for Ben Hill Road, which is actually not true. You could have, if you're on Ben Hill, she said around the little curb. I don't know what she's talking about. Beach Creek? I'm very confused. We're going to go back and listen to that again when she gets through it. But right now, around the little bend, they see a light flashing. She sees the light before it gets there. She's thinking it's the devil. So she has a vibe in her body that the devil's coming. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes past with spotlights on his truck, like he knew they were exactly there. So that means this guy would have had to have been sitting in wait. So I got to ask you, when you were coming down the driveway, did you see the guy sitting in the driveway? Because at this part, he drove past the driveway, stopped in Beach Creek. Maybe he noticed your car in the driveway. Was you just sitting there? Because here's my first thought. There's a missing child from the Wills property. You're in their driveway stopped. You're a stranger. It isn't like the Wills are going to be calling the whole neighborhood stating, hey, we're having company from out of state that's a search team and they're coming to search for Summer Wills. They're going to be by the hills. It ain't like they're giving people warning. So you're stopped on a missing child's property where there's been rumors of bags of eggplants and dolls hanging from trees and bins of dead dolls and all this crazy shit, right? Plus the missing child. So you're stopped there and some guy gets out of his car, throws his hands up. Could it be, Adrian, that this man was like, hey, who the fuck are you? What are you doing on this road? But you're going to go on to say that this guy doesn't even belong on Ben Hill Road. However, do you belong on Ben Hill Road? Do you live there? Or are you even from Tennessee? Like, let's think about this. So, of course, if he sees something shady going on, somebody's going to fucking chase somebody, right? Like, yo, there's some fucking weird ass shit going on the Wells property. Let's continue. I mean, and that's if this even happened the way she said it did.
And so he followed us, and I hit 80. I mean, there's proof of that, right? Yeah, he was very close to the door. And I don't know if I was so panicked that I didn't know if he, actually was trying to grab the door or if he was just coming to my window or what he was doing, right? So, and then we stopped for a little while and kind of hunkered down, and then we got on the interstate, went back around. So, no, we were chased. Yeah, we were chased. So, 80 miles per hour. If you're going 80 miles per hour on a road like Beach Creek or Van Hill, and it wasn't 80 the whole time, but it was 80 many times. And I was going around these turns, and I'm like, I don't know how, I don't know. I don't know how we didn't come up on two wheels a couple different times, because they're going slow down, slow down. I'm like, I got it. I mean, because thankfully I learned to drive on roads like that. So I was golden. Like, I was ready. So anyways, okay. So when we went back for Summer's Day this last time, and last month, um I've had a really hard time over the last several months since that. I have nightmares constantly.
she goes on to make this like it was a traumatic event. Now, I'm not saying that whatever happened was not a traumatic event to her, okay? But what I'm saying is her interpretation and a chase could be something that she doesn't even realize because, in my opinion, she's a ditz. That's my opinion. If I see some shady shit going on my neighbor's property and they have a missing child and it has caused my area concern, I would definitely get out of my car, throw my hands up, and say, "Who the fuck are you?" Regardless of whether that guy got there, even if that guy was there to buy drugs, he belonged there more than you did because it means he knew somebody there and he had a reason for being there, as did you. I'm not saying you wasn't invited. However, he is somebody that somebody in a neighborhood would recognize and know. You are not. Dawn and Candace were on drugs. Their friends are those people. Do you get that? Okay.
I've woken up, like, fallen asleep while we were talking or whatever, and we were going through everything. I've woken up and at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's still, people talking, and I'm just bawling, like just complete breakdown bawling. Yes, I did, Tracy. And I see him in my nightmares every night. They've gotten better since we went back last time. So when we found
I'm going to go back just a second. Let's hope I don't fuck it up. Okay, listen. She has nightmares every night, but she decides to go back. Now let's listen to her next statement.
whatever, and we were going through everything, I've woken up.
And by the way, I only smoked half of my joint before because my daughter came down. And yes, I told you guys all my kids smoke. I don't give a fuck. Okay. However, she wasn't getting this because I only have a little bit left. So I had to put my shit out. And that's why I was aggravated with her when she came down too, because I had to hide my shit. Okay. Hold on.
And at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's still, people talking, and I'm just bawling, like just complete breakdown bawling. Yes, I did, Tracy. And I see him in my nightmares every night. They've gotten better since we went back last time. So when we found him again, we kind of turned the tables on him, and for me, it was kind of healing.
So they go searching for this guy that they only seen in the dark. They were in front of him, running from him while he chased them. So they didn't get a really, really good look at the car make because they would have had to have stopped the car to get a really good look at the car, right? It was dark. But they're going to go searching for some guy. They're going to find him at Zoomers where Fred states he's seen Andy. They're going to take pictures of this guy and harass and stalk him. Guys, I'm trying not to commentate. It's hard. I quit listening right after that and I went immediately live. Okay? because I don't know if they wanted me to commentate on this or anybody else, or why she would put this back out. Maybe because we asked for it, and I understand, but I really feel like her interpretation of what happened could be completely wrong. And I feel that she put herself in danger, and then she came back and she's so scared of this guy she's having nightmares about that she goes searching for him because they had to find him. You gotta be shitting me.
because it was like we took that like power back, right? Like he chased us out and scared us, and yes, Selena. He chased us and he caused so much
Even if they turn this into the sheriff's office, I'm just going to say, I bet you the sheriff's office didn't say shit, because I bet you the other guy turned them into the sheriff's office saying we seen some strange shit and gave them the license plate number. And the sheriffs are probably sitting in the back like, good for them bitches. That's why there's no arrests and you don't hear about this. If it was that dramatic and really happened, why didn't you go to WJHL with it and tell them there's people chasing people in Beach Creek? And didn't you have body cam on? Oh my God. Okay.
confusion and pain and all of this stuff, and we got to kind of take that back, and we followed him and followed him to the Zoomers, actually, and he came around the building, and I got good video of him, good pictures of him, good pictures and video of the vehicle that he was in with another person, and um the other girls were recording as well. He growled at Tracy and some of the other girls. I don't know if they want to. I don't know who wants to.
I want to show you guys something. This is about my life, but there's a reason I'm going to share this. I shared it on my wall last night. What good timing. Because I'm going to show you something, and then I'm going to tell you something, and I'll tell you how it goes with this, okay? It don't really go with it per se, but I'm going to tell you how the people are. Hold on. Hold on, I want to shut the music off, and my husband's leaving for work. I love you. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Shut up. This is where I'm from. I just want you to see how big the town is. It's 1.9 miles. Okay. And then I want you to see what they show you like around the town. No, there was a better video I watched, but however, forget it. Hold on. I'm shutting the music off because I don't want copywritten. You don't have to pay attention to all this. It's kind of interesting, though. And growing up, we always heard about the damn tornado and shit, right? Oh, shit. Did they already show it? Hold on. No. I actually used to live here. It's a bar now. It's completely different. And the glass company they're talking about is right across the street from there. Yeah, we used to drink in it. It's all torn up. It has our graffiti tags all over it. They're still there. Okay, hold on. Come on. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, that's the glass house I'm talking about. It was a little shipbuilding. We had a lot of mills. Come on. Keep going. I should have sped it up. What's so funny about this is like no black people were allowed in Glassport when I was a kid growing up. And even prior to that, it was weird. Like people would chase black people out. People were just assholes. But when this happened, people got pieces of the glass and they were super excited about it. So many years later, after I marry my husband, one of the first things he brings to my house is a piece of the liquid glass that hardened. He had a piece of it. We still have it. And it's so weird. It's kind of like kismet. I don't fucking weird. I don't know. Okay. Ah. Come on. I don't need to read all this. I know him. And I know his mama. We'll just laugh. Okay. The area is 1.9 square miles. Okay. This is where I know most of the people in my life. I also grew up in the neighborhoods that surround it because it's only 1.9 square miles. So if you have a mom that's an addict, you move often, and in 1.9 square miles, you don't find homes, so you move to the ghetto. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that sort of situation. However, you always find your way home. And when my parents divorced, they had bought a house together, tried to get back together. It was the last of my dad's money. Long story. We're not going to go all there. But anyways, in this neighborhood that I grew up in, every single person from old to young, they know each other. There was, believe it or not, in that 1.9 square miles, there was 32 bars. It was a little biker town in between two ghettos. Everybody knew everybody's business. Everybody knew everything about everybody. Everybody knew everybody, even from the towns that surrounded it. Still to this day. Okay? So, being that that man came onto that street, it doesn't mean that he didn't belong there. However, drama mama, you did not belong there. Do you understand that? So there was a point of me telling you all this. Okay. Let's go back.
Say what? So, and then he came out and he smacked the trash can because he knew that we were who we were. So, yeah. This is somebody that wasn't a neighbor of Summers. Shouldn't have been in Ben Hill. Yeah, he did. He did. Okay. So it's not the story spin that people got from Jody, which was that, neighbors are sick of it, right? Yes, Nana, he did. Yes, soup, yes. I believe so. That isn't that the one, Nana? Hi, lovely lyrics. So, right, so, yeah, perfect. We got him. We know who he is, and it's been reported, and the images and video and everything has been given directly to an agent. So, an actual TBI agent, like for real. So,
So, how did you get this information to TBI? Was it sent through email? Did you speak to them on the phone and they asked you to send it? What was your conversations pertaining this chase with TBI, you see? Because that's not part of Summer's investigation. And that's the type of shit that should not have been hidden on YouTube. And that's the type of shit that you should come out here and tell us. That's why things got misconstrued and everybody started fighting. And Jody Sue was able to state that you did the scream test, which in return made Benny say it and Tiffany say it, and it starts a big fight, right? And what does that do, Adrian? It causes drama in a missing child's case while you sit there with your fucking Cash App up on the thing, memberships available, flashing on the bottom of the screen. If you thought that this was going to make you look any better, and she put other videos out too, so I highly advise anybody go look at them now before she takes them down. But if you thought that this was going to make you look any better, it doesn't. Your story is asinine, in my opinion.
And the only reason that we're speaking out about this and we have is because people need to be very careful if they're down there, because I mean it's serious. And I was like literally like trying to like tap whenever we were driving past him the first time. I was like trying to tap myself like, okay, I'm awake, I'm here, I'm alive. And I'm like pinching myself, making sure that I'm like staying focused because when I was driving, because I didn't want to I wanted to remember that I was here, and I was kind of taking that power back from him because he haunted my nightmares for real. So
How many of those neighbors and how many people in that area that don't know what happened this summer, how many of their nightmares are haunted, wondering, curious, can it happen to their children while they have strangers parked on Ben Hill in the dark with flashlights and cameras? You're shitting me, right? The cameras you didn't have, but your body camera. Now, please, I'm going to implore you and I'm going to ask you, the one you had where you were in the car talking, I'll have to see if that's one of the ones you re-put up, and you actually showed the cameras. I bet you Lawson and Pruitt were in there high-fiving, belly slapping, laughing.
um yeah. But yeah, so okay. So after the search, we did a scream test, right? Okay, Birdie. We did a scream test.
Oh, wait. Please forgive me. I didn't listen this far. So they already spoke to somebody about a scream test, and now they're conducting scientific experiments. With no bachelor's degree, no associate's degree, no friend. Did you go to school for forensics? Did you hold on, I got a cough. Did somebody aid you? Did somebody involved in the investigation, such as the PI or somebody else, give you a direction of the scream? I have so many questions. Uh, did you have law officials with you? Was the PIs with you? Was Tim Mullins with you? Who exactly were you there with when you did this? How exactly was it conducted? Where did you stand? Where did the person who was screaming stand? Did you try that scream from the properties that you were interviewing or going and talking to other neighbors? Did you ask them what direction they heard the scream from? Did you scream from that direction to exactly pinpoint where Jody Sue's cabin was? You know what? Did you put one of Andy's dirty boxes or shit barrels over your head so that you could pretend you were in the cabin? to make sure you got the exact sound. But let's continue listening. That's just my first thoughts.
And we did another one. Hold on one second. I got a kid coming out. 1 second.
Another one. So they did 2. Okay, so they did 2. Yeah, they claimed they searched the ground. Chasing had a machete. They were barreling through the woods. What direction did they search? Did they go where the searchers didn't search? Did they have permission to search where they searched while they were searching with machetes in the woods? What do you guys think?
Okay, sorry. I put a new battery.
If you guys disagree with me and you see this to go another direction, or you think that I'm wrong, please, I can take constructive criticism without being let down, and I like talking about it. So if you see that I'm wrong and you have another interpretation of what they're saying, please let me know. If you want to come on panel and talk about it, let me know. Although I'm only going to stay on here for probably another 45 minutes, because I'm possibly getting the babies for the weekend. So that means I got to prepare for that. I don't see Dawn and Candace letting anyone search their land. Well, see, they were inviting people up there and they were on the hill. I can see Listen, I'm not going to say they weren't letting anyone, because that's not true. They let Real Gongonzo come up and look. They let Dolly come up. They let Benny come up. They say they don't allow people up there, but then they do, and they trick them into these weird NDAs. Did you sign an NDA? I'd like to know that. Churchill Rescue searched that property. Yes, exactly. And we have double confirmation of that, because they even went back when Dawn was in jail to look for her safe hidden somewhere under the steps or something in the basement. What was it again? We talked about it not that long ago. So, I mean, it's not like, listen, it's always good to search, but I would have preferred somebody like EquiSearch to come in. We don't know. And this is speculation and just it ain't even a theory. It's an example, I guess you could say. We don't know that what if Summer was trafficked for drug money or something, and somebody where you live has Summer and you're coming down here to be a distraction or plant something or take something away. Do you understand that? Like, if that was a possibility, that Summer was taking over state lines. Like, in all honesty, you just shouldn't fucking be there, and I'd chase your fat ass the fuck out too. Like, plain simple. People went up, but I don't know how much of the 11 acres those people searched. I think it's more chit chat. Well, see, I don't think that they did not search Ben Hill, and I don't think that they did not search where the scents were, and I don't think that they did not search where the footprints were. However, it's my opinion, Ben Hill, the road itself, if you look on the maps, and I'm not going to do that tonight, but maybe another night we can go over the terrain and all that, it turns into Sullivan County, right behind Fred Hill's house. Okay? Right where, when Brandon took JLR through the woods, he took them from Sullivan County to Hawkins County. Do you understand? We watched him cross the county line, if not very close to it. So, my question is, how thorough was Sullivan County? How involved did they get? How far was Sullivan County searched? Did you have the balls to go on Light Hauler and search? How about that? Did you have them gonads? I bet you didn't. Just curious, like in all for realness. However, I have found some things where Sullivan was involved. And I feel their search was a little broader than we think, and that they searched all up in that area. We know one of the first things they would do would be to go question people like Frank Light and Tony Hammonds and things of that nature. Like, do you really think that any of us as YouTube creators without a law degree, or even some with a law degree, or any of the subs can say what kind of job that law enforcement did? Now, looking from the outside in, it looks like a shitty job. However, it's their job to make it look like a shitty job. That means that they are doing a good job, because they don't want evidence getting out that you or I could put out and lead on to somebody who have hurt Summer. Now, here's the problem with that. People like Krama and Ziggy. I'm not going to say Jody, because Jody don't name anybody. Jody does what she's trained to do in Beach Creek, which is what I'm trained to do in Glassport, and that's protect your own, right? Plain simple Andy too. They have secrets down there. You hear Miss Linda say what happens in Beach Creek stays in Beach Creek. We see that there have been big drug busts, not even really particularly connected to that area, because to be honest with you, mainly happened in Greene and Sullivan County, Washington, I think. But it was people who had connections to Beach Creek. I bet nobody knew that, huh? It led to a lot of arrests of smaller dealers like Jody Sue and Andy, and a multitude of small drug busts that ended up being one big, huge operation. I studied it. Remember when I went over all the stuff in Kentucky? That's because I was showing you guys how they work. When it really didn't pertain to Summer's case for me, it pertained to Summer's case in some sort of way or fashion. I was following that drug bust to see how they connect, what they do, how they do the smaller busts. And if you noticed, even after the big bust came, a couple smaller little busts came too, as well, with bigger people. And even one connecting a couple months later to another county in Kentucky that connected to the Louisville bust. And that's what I was trying to show you guys when I showed that. And they're still doing them busts. I think, was it Crystal who said it earlier? I hope they are doing busts. There's some kind of secret bust thing they're doing now. Hawkins County actually does a lot of them. Ronnie Lawson knows they have a drug problem. But why would he want to come out and say that and give people a heads up in the public? And being that there was this bigger bust there, this bust could be bigger than that. Maybe they didn't know what was going on in Rogersville. But here you have Ziggy and Fred and Jody playing manipulation games, and Adrian and Krama going down there with chasing, and all the other people that go down there without the Wells real permission. Like, it's like a forced I bet, hold on, I am betting, it's my opinion, I'm speculating, that at this point the Wells have gotten so used to this and they don't know what else to do. So they welcome the people when they come up there, because when the Wells don't reach out to people and talk to people, it looks as though they're not looking for their kid. Now, with that said, I really don't think Candace did anything to Summer, or purposefully, or had knowledge of it till after. That's just a theory and opinion. Okay, you guys know I have many. Here's the situation though. Maybe Candace don't know what happened to Summer. Okay? It looks bad. It looked bad. When you go to the news 16 days after your daughter goes missing, you're not at the press conferences. You hear people say that Candace wasn't cooperating with the police. You hear Benny say, they treated Grandis and Candace badly. Now, that could just be because they're under investigation, but I think that it was far enough out that they may have had some information until whatever. I don't know what happened to Summer, but I'm going to tell you what's wrong. And that's this woman going to the bottom of Beach Creek with carloads of people in the middle of the night with flashlights, cameras, body cameras, phones, searching the area. And then when somebody gets out of their car and says, hey, or whatever the fuck he yelled coming towards the door, you don't take off like you're doing something fucking suspicious, making people chase you. Because I would have chased your fucking ass as well, Smurfette. Okay? Now, by the way, did she say what kind of vehicle chased her? Let's continue.
Or well, my husband did put a new battery in the Razor dirt quad thing that we have, it's like a little four-wheeler. And we had a wreck last night, so she's a little bit banged up. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, as damn, yeah. Okay. So we did do a screen test, and we didn't have fancy equipment or anything like that. We just wanted to see for ourselves, like, how this works. Oh, looky there. Hello. So, and then there was another test, I guess, in June of last, because everything's different in November than it is in June, on June 15th. So there was another kind of test, and it was with our own ears. We did have some recordings or whatever, but it's just the if there was a scream, there would be no way to really tell exactly where the scream came from, for one. There was so many people outside during that time that they didn't hear anything.
Right. So there's no scream to confirm. Lawson told you there's no scream to fucking confirm. So, no, listen, guys. Maybe I'm partially guilty for this because I remember jokingly saying to wasn't really a joke. I was serious. Cracking cases was coming up on the property. I'm going to admit to something I said in case it ever gets pulled, okay? Cracking cases at that point was going up onto the land. He had contact with the PIs. Jody Sue has contact with the PIs, close contact with the PIs at this point, at the beginning, okay? I know this for fact. Jody told me this. The PIs have told me this, sort of, if you remember my conversation with them, right? So they would know the direction of the scream. If you had permission to do all of this and you were working with them and working by legal means to do the scream, that means that the PIs would have given you the direction of the scream because they knew it. Just saying. Okay.
And I understand that sound travels differently and things, whatever. You can hear things from one hill to the other. You can hear things, but the order of events of which things happened could not have happened. And Candace showed us where, when she came down the driveway, remember you mean to tell me someone took my baby girl, that what Jody always says, right? When Candace came down the driveway, she said she doesn't remember that being said. she showed us exactly where Jody said, like, exactly where Jody came out of the creek. Exactly. The exact spot. And for Jody to have been down in the creek where she said she was at and trying to yell up on the hill, you absolutely would have heard her yell up there from there. Or from the bottom of the driveway or from anywhere right there, you would have heard. But she showed us, and it is a hike to get down into the creek from that spot. Yeah, and it's the tile area, but the tile is like over here and the spot's like over here, and there is quite a distance between the road where she went into the creek and the actual water.
There are many pictures. Everybody can see them. That's why I disputed it, because just 2 hours prior, Jody needed help at the same time she was napping at 2:30 to walk her property lines with her son to check for dogs. She couldn't even walk. She was so fragile she needed help. But when Candace yelled for Summer, she went hee-hawing and he-manning down her long driveway, which I have shown the video for plenty of times, to jump over that embankment into the fucking creek. Jody told us where she seen Candace. Then she changed her story from like she was walking towards Simpson. Then all of a sudden it changed. She was going towards the guardrail. The only guardrail I can see from a map, and maybe I'm wrong, is on Beach Creek Road, right? There's no way that story holds weight. Jody would not have had time in between hearing Candace scream to get down to the bottom, he-man back up to the damn top, talk to Candace and scream, I'm sorry, I heard a scream. You mean to tell me somebody took my baby girl? That didn't happen. It couldn't have. There had to have been a reason that Jody was down in the creek. Jody told us it was to keep the scent down, not to wash the scent off of her, but to keep the scent from following where she was, in my opinion. That is my opinion. Her story doesn't hold any weight. None of it. Just like your fucking story and stupid fucking tests. And going down there and harassing the people who live down there is not right either. Neither of you are right. You sit on there and bully people. She sits on there and accuses all of us of murder. I laugh at it. A lot of people get offended by it, but I'm pretty sure Jody Sue, in my opinion, wears a tinfoil fucking hat. At times I feel pity for her. I have a heart. Your story of this man chasing you, I fucking can't believe I'm going to say this. I agree with Tiffany. It's outrageous. You might as well hide your videos again. Don't worry, I already uploaded them.
And so, as far as the testing
And here
for the
comes Big
sound, it
Baby,
was really a
baby
sound test. People
voice.
call it a screen test, whatever.
Right.
She can't talk
It
like
was
an adult. She got to laugh like a fucking chipmunk mouse. Dude. She gets on it. She does baby talk. How old are you, Jenny? You got a lot of wrinkles, dude. You ain't that young. You got to tell me how old you are. It's ridiculous, the baby voice. Speak like a grown-ass woman. I don't know how your husband fucking puts up. I bet you they're furries. I bet you they go to furry conventions. That's my opinion. I'm speculating.
the sound test. She allegedly heard this with her ears, not with sound equipment,
Right.
right? So that we weren't really concerned about having high-tech sound equipment up there because it doesn't matter. If we could
Mhm.
pick it up on something that's, that wouldn't make any difference. So I was up there with Andy. We stood exactly where the cabin was,
Mhm.
and people were yelling from various places so that we could try to understand um, where it might have come from. We went to where she has described it came from, and you could not hear that
Right.
at all. As well as hill to hill, you can hear stuff. It is not clear.
Right.
And they were yelling.
Mhm.
And this was in November, so there weren't a lot of leaves on the trees.
See, that's the thing. People come out here and they say, I'm out here to tell the truth. It's truth. It's transparency. It's this, that, and the other. But if you really want to talk about what transparency is, here's what transparency is. None of us are law enforcement agencies. None of us work personally and meet with the TBI daily in Summer's case. None of us know the real evidence. None of us know who the real suspects are because they don't even tell us. They vaguely manipulate us too, but that's because they're doing their job and keeping their evidence under tight wraps, right? So when you go to places like that and you come back here, like they need the real search teams that come out here and that's who they're permitting on their property, and you're wearing cameras and saying it's body cameras, like it's a real legal LE enforced body cam. And then you get secretive and you hide everything and you don't tell the whole story, or you don't try to look at all sides of the bias, even if you're part of the story. See, that's the thing. You made yourself a part of the story by going there. So when you do things like that, it causes confusion in Summer's case, and it makes people who watch you guys, and I don't know who these subs are. I don't know none of you on a personal level, but there are people out there with one mental illness that follow true crime. There are people out there with low IQs that will believe what you do. And when you do things like that, like White Boy said with Jody the other day, when you're accusing people of murder and all those things, when it could have just been something that was misunderstood and somebody chasing you because you was on property you didn't belong on, you cause confusion. This is why there shouldn't be secrets, why people shouldn't hide their face. This, in my opinion, is ridiculous. I'm glad you put this back out there. But please stop coming out here like you're perfect. Quit coming out here and telling people that you have the truth, you have the facts. Because the truth is we don't have the facts. And that, ma'am, is being transparent with people. Okay? Your facts are not facts, even if you went there and allowed bearded Cheeto bread, beard man, to pay your way to Andy Bernard up to 125. It doesn't make Andy innocent of anything. Again, I don't think he's guilty. However, I think him and Jody could be involved speculating opinion in a cover up, because then people are all their damn family. I think it's possible Fred and Andy have gotten to a point where they can't snitch on each other. So they come out here and attack each other and try to prove who was on the road, who this, who that. However, Andy wasn't worked, they state. Adrian has another video out that we'll go over tomorrow if she doesn't erase it, or the next time I come live, because I have the kids this weekend, where she calls Andy's job or something. That might be the recording I thought that I had heard back in the day when I thought Ryan called, but Ryan didn't. Ryan just talked to this man. I also want you to keep in mind that if this would be a cover up, it sounds like Andy might be pissed about it because Jody knew about it and told her about it while the daughter was walking down the hill, and the son may have known about it. These are just theories, speculating, okay? That might be what caused their breakup. And now they all have to either stick up for each other or turn on each other, and all of them might go to jail. That could be a possibility. Do you understand that? Like, I don't think how bad you got involved and confused this case. And that goes for Ziggy, too. Ziggy's dumbass put herself in what could be a dangerous situation. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think that it does Summer any justice. I think you need to unprivate all of your videos. I think you need to put your recordings out that other people are not in, or where you cannot see their address. If you're in the woods, us as subscribers are not going to know where those woods are. If we have questions, you can give us a vicinity, like closer to Light Hauler Road, closer to Redmond's. You don't have to give exact, or maybe you could give an exact, because that would be being more transparent. But you really don't have to give names. There are correct ways of covering things. But I'm going to tell you what you've done is you are just as guilty as Jody Sue, in my opinion. I'm not going no further in this live. Yeah, they want to be like Ziggy or something, or they were, maybe, trying to make a documentary that did not go through. You do hear Skilo call Sage a colleague, right? We went over that before. You guys can go watch my other lives. I also have an apology to make. I can't remember who the sub was at this moment. A couple days ago, I've really been busy. Hold on. I listen to music all day long. So I'm on YouTube all day. I see my notifications pop up. Sometimes I don't answer them immediately. I almost always try to answer the ones I see. I don't really do the go into the YouTube studio type thing and go through all my comments. I probably should. But the other day I got a comment, and it was somebody disagreeing with me. We were able to come to terms within the disagreement and have a decent conversation. I appreciate that person because they gave me their perspective. I gave them mine. There was no fighting, no arguing, no hate. There's just been a lot of manipulation, in my opinion, from a lot of people that covered this case. This is why moving forward, in my opinion, people should not go to where the missing kids are unless they have the credentials and permission, or they're known that they're going to be there soon, or that LE knows exactly where they're going to be, which in this case, they stated that LE knew that. Okay. Still doesn't mean that your evidence is credible. You have to show that you're making your evidence credible. You have to take somebody credible with you. Find somebody from Quantico or something. You know what I mean? Talk to somebody about your findings. Your channel would have really skyrocketed had you went and found somebody professional to go over your findings without causing accusations and stalking people in the area, in my opinion. and then talked about it. You know who's really good at that? And I'm not a big fan these days of that channel, but the lab. He brings Gary on. He brings Chris on, even though I'm not fond of Chris right now either, right? But he brings the professionals on and he talks about his findings. You had actual findings. You could have made some professional content that made sense out of what you had. However, you decided to play fucking games with it and make up stories and make it dramatic and cause issues. That's why, in my opinion, I think you're bitches. Okay? Oh, let me catch up with comments. Yes, please put the videos out. I say that, please, to them. Ziggy is in a dangerous situation. I think so too, Danny. And I'm not saying that my speculation or theories are correct, but I'm saying that it is possible that this could be theories. This could be speculation. I'm not hiding anything anymore. I have to go back and look at I have screenshots, of course, of my conversations with Fred's sister, but there is a story or a few where Fred had to be bailed out, or Fred had to have somebody bailed out. I can't remember how the story goes. I have to go look at my screenshots of Jill for somebody that was involved in that thing to keep him safe. His father was making payouts for him for somebody who was involved in that big drug bust. Okay? He wasn't there when his mother died. Ziggy should catch on to that. He states he was there. The sister states no, Laura was there and she was on camera. Fred was in jail. He wasn't there. Not only was he in jail, he couldn't attend the funeral of his mother. Not only couldn't he attend the funeral of his mother, but he sent friends of his in place. I don't know what that means. Fred asked me something in my comment section the other day and I left that. He hasn't left me another fucking comment since. Or he has, but he's not answering to that comment. I have to go back and look. Like I said, I've been busy. Fred, why don't you come out here and why don't you tell your wife about all of your involvement? Not anybody else's. You don't got to snitch on nobody. Just your involvement in that drug bust. And quit going over there and acting like there's no problems with you. Ziggy, the reason I feel you're in danger is because I begged you a million times over the past 3 years to look at his criminal record. His sister is too educated to be on bath salts or any other kind of debilitating drug. You know that. Look at his court records when his children were taken and he was placed in prison for 5 years. Look at him. Look at the real story of what happened. Tell Fred to tell you because he's fucking lying to you and he's been lying to you since the beginning. He barricaded himself in a house with him and his children, or at least one child. Laura escaped. She ran to the neighbors. The sister came over. It started with a fight between him and his sister. They get out of the house. Fred shoots. There's a bullet in the wall. That man is not afraid to shoot around his own children. Do you understand that? I don't think you quite do. You put yourself in this situation. I hope you know that. Oh, I don't like Fred, but I don't think everything he says is a lie. No, it's not a lie. It's definitely not a lie. He's giving you real truths, real names. He's just changing the situation. Because you see, them people he talks about, like Jody says, they're his people. All right. I think I've had enough of this. I think I've proven my point. If you guys want to go see the rest of this, Sassy has her videos up. It's just Sassy. I guess you could type and I'll put the live. Let me do that right now. I'm going to go put this in my comment section. Or in my community posts. There's a link to her channel in my community post to this video in particular. Y'all can find everything else from there. I'm done with this. I'm not even going to cover any more of them no more because I still think they're dumb bitches in my opinion. Okay? I don't think them putting this back out had proven anything. I think what it proved was that you still have shit hidden. Put it all out. All right, guys. Peace and love. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at some point if I get a break from the children and my son takes them out. I think he does have plans to take them somewhere tomorrow. If not, I will see you guys Monday. Okay? I'll still be in my community post. I'll still be listening to music and posting and watching and doing all the things I can because the kids aren't always in my room. They do have a dad that lives here and I'm not really taking care of them while they're here. I'm still in my little studio apartment in my house, you know? And yeah, I just won't be live because this stuff's tough to cover with the little ones and I want to be there to help and spend as much time as I can with them. So if I don't see you guys tomorrow at some point, I will see you Monday. Maybe I'll make a video and post it if anything comes up. If there's an emergency, I'll make, if Summer's found or if there's some drama I need to attend to, I'll come live. But I'm going to try to stay off. He said that blue truck was in the same image or video as Andy was on June 15th. Well, Lady R, like I keep saying, the only blue truck that I heard of that was confirmed that was also in the same vicinity with a name that they throw out there is Chad Arnold. Laura stated it on Prayer Garden. So that's who I'm going to assume the blue truck is. And I'm going to assume that Fred's trying to set something on Chad or Chad's involved. Like, that's what you have. I also want you to pay attention to motorcycle. I asked Fred what the make of the motorcycle was. I'm interested. But all right, guys. I'll see you guys either tomorrow or Monday. Peace and love. Bye.